Welcome to the AI Chat Podcast. I'm your host, Jaden Schaefer. Every day, I break down AI news, interview guests, and explain the implications of AI in your life and business. Make sure that you go to aibox.ai, link in the show notes, to join the waitlist for our new AI platform. We're going to be launching an incredible platform that allows you to build anything you want with workflows in AI. So you're able to chain together ChatGPT and image generators and audio generators to make really powerful apps for your organization, or you can host them on our marketplace and actually generate royalties from them. So make sure to go to aibox.ai and join the waitlist. In addition, if you like the podcast, if you could do me a massive favor and please leave us a review on Apple or Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast. This helps me be able to get better guests on here as they check the reviews to see how you guys are liking it. So if you could please do that, I would really appreciate it. Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? I record and publish podcasts on a platform called Spotify for Podcasters, and I absolutely love it. Essentially, you can upload from your phone or computer, and it distributes to every platform that plays podcasts. They support video podcasts, and you can make money on the platform with ads or even podcast subscriptions, something that has made my life so much easier as a podcaster. So if you're interested, I highly recommend you give it a try. You can download the Spotify for Podcast app or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started on your podcast today. One of the big breakthroughs that I think AI is going to make in the very near future is moving beyond just being something like OpenAI's ChatGPT and actually having that intelligence put into robots, right? I think right now, a lot of people are concerned about how ChatGPT is going to replace jobs in the white-collar space, right? It's going to replace marketers writing articles and all sorts of other things we've discussed on the podcast. I believe the next phase after this goes to actually robots that are going to start replacing blue-collar workers. I'm not saying this is good. I'm not saying this is bad. I'm just saying what I believe is going to happen, right? So inevitably, we're going to have humanoid robots that have that are trained specifically to be an engineer or to be an electrician or to be a plumber. All the jobs we thought, hey, at least AI is not going to replace these. I believe it's going to go there. But the big problem that these humanoid robots are currently facing is, well, being humanoid robots. Walking around is very difficult. Well, ChatGPT may have created, a brain that's going to get more and more powerful over time. We still don't have the host to put that brain in, the actual robot itself. So today on the podcast, we're going to be talking about how Meta's new AI agent is learning to move by copying toddlers. And this is a biomedical model that learns like humans, and this is essentially designed to help robots and, humanoid robots learn how to walk. So today on the podcast, we're going to be talking about what they're training here, what the implications are, and why this is important. So in a bit of a state-of-the-art simulation, a skeleton arm powered by artificial intelligence expertly handled a toy elephant, rotating it in its grip. And essentially, this was mimicking the exploratory actions of a curious toddler. It used 39 muscles across 29 joints, and this innovative system then proceeded to interact with various objects, a toothpaste tube, a stapler, an alarm clock. Similarly, in another scenario, skeletal legs propelled by 80 muscles through 16 joints engaged in motor actions reminiscent of a toddler's first steps. So all of these feats were achieved by the Myo Suite platform, which is particularly the latest edition of this software, so Myo Suite 2.0. And essentially this unveiling came from a collaboration between Meta AI and prominent researchers at McGill University in Canada, Northeastern University, USA, and the University of Twente, Netherlands. So by focusing on machine learning for biomechanical control, the aim is to emulate human-level dexterity and agility. So I think that the complexity involved in coordinating large and small muscle groups poses significant control challenges here. But I believe that Myo Suite offers a really valuable repository of musculoskeletal models and benchmarks tasked for open research. So Mark Zuckerberg actually highlighted the platform's potential, saying, quote, "This research could also help us develop more realistic avatars for the metaverse." I think this is, I don't know people's opinion on that. In my opinion, it's like, oh my gosh, we're recreating like skeletons and how like muscles move and stuff. And Zuckerberg's like, more realistic like avatars in the metaverse. I'm like, dude, we literally could like recreate humanoid robots with like every muscle and tendon that like actually function and move exactly how we move. Or like someone that has their actual arm amputated, or like a leg amputee, could get like an actual arm or muscle that functions like 100% like an actual one. Like this is incredible for science and research, and Zuckerberg's all caught up on like the metaverse, whatever. It's just, that is dumb. Anyways, Vikash Kumar, who's a prominent researcher on the project, he drew a couple comparisons between the intricate mechanics of the human body and traditional robots. So, while robots typically have a single motor per joint, the human anatomy involves multiple muscles per joint, with these muscles interacting through various joints. So the challenge isn't merely about, initiating motion, but really substantiating intricate patterns of muscle activation. This is a feat that the human brain accomplishes effortlessly. And so for Kumar, attempting to replicate these strategies in MyoSuite really exceeds the simplicity of, directing robots. He is very optimistic about it, though. He's essentially drawing from human biomechanics, and he thinks that this could provide pivotal insights. So Kumar believes that evolution shows our complex anatomy for profound reasons, emphasizing, quote, "If an easier solution was possible, it would be foolish for evolution to converge on this complicated form factor." So Kumar has recently transitioned to a full-time role at CMU's Robotics Institute from a dual role as a meta-researcher and adjunct professor. But I think really the inception of this innovation is credited to Meta AI's Fundamental AI Research, which is FAIR division. And so when MyoSuite 1.0 was launched back in May of 2022, Zuckerberg himself hinted at its potential implications for Meta's product line. I guess I'll say one other thing on this, right? It was like, we're being like, it's going to make avatars in the metaverse more realistic, whatever. Like, if that's what it takes for Zuckerberg to fund this, right? And we see like a lot of incredible breakthroughs in science, and it helps people in a lot of ways, that like, whatever. If it took more realistic avatars in the metaverse, and I mean, at the end of the day, they're funding this amazing research that's going to do some cool stuff, whatever. I guess I'll take it, right? So I think that in 2022, a contest named Myo Challenge was organized, and it was concluded at the Neural IPS AI conference, and teams essentially grappled with stimulating a hand to rotate dice and manipulate some bowling balls. So though many displayed remarkable proficiency, Kumar noticed limitations to their generalization capabilities. So a change in the object's properties posed significant challenges to the AI algorithm, right? Like if it's going to be a ball or a dice or a banana, it's very difficult for these robots to switch between objects and treat them in, impressive ways. So recognizing this, the Meta team really kind of aimed to design AI agents that were proficient in generalizing across tasks, which is employing, the Myo arm and Myo legs as training grounds. And so Kumar's strategy was to train the algorithm with diverse object representations. And I think doing this really enhanced its task-specific learning rate. So as detailed in a paper for the International Conference in Machine Learning, this method, similar to a toddler's exploration, proved to be really effective, which is really exciting that they are making some breakthroughs here, and that these new algorithms they're training in AI are actually helping it to learn how to switch between a lot of different objects, and it was quite effective in that. So a recent publication at the Robotics Science and Systems meeting detailed similar success with Myo legs. Vitro Kagani, who's a researcher at Meta, remarked on the broader implications, suggesting that the core knowledge is transferable across systems. That's really, really exciting, right? The core knowledge that, like, essentially the algorithm they use to make the hand with all of its muscles and joints be able to pick up different objects transferred across systems, meaning it was able to go into the leg models that they had and teach the legs how to walk across different situations. So this is really, really exciting to know. I think this year's Myo Challenge 2023 is going to be concluded at Neural IPS, and it has set advanced tasks. So participants have to utilize the Myo arm for handling household objects and the Myo legs in a game of tag. So Imo Tordov from the University of Washington commented on MyoSuite's emphasis on broader kind of representations, noting its potential utility across a lot of different tasks. So he compared their approach to neuroscience's muscle synergies principles, which essentially emphasizes group muscle activations for efficiency. So Tordov really commended MyoSuite's ability to build these kind of models from scratch. But I do think that the Meta team, as they're moving forward very rapidly, I think they're going to need to refine the AI models a lot further. I think emulating toddlers requires more than just kind of handling and mobility. I think true comprehension might only come when these AI models can actually taste their surroundings, much like a toddler's, instinct to mouth objects or whatever, right? Like right now, these are all computer softwares, and I think they're going to need to bring these into the real world to train them. But I do think that we're going to see some really incredible results as this happens. And this has big implications, not just for avatars in the metaverse, but I think for science, for artificial limbs, and for all sorts of things that are incredibly exciting at the moment.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Forget the frustration of picking commerce platforms when you switch your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling wherever you sell. With Shopify, you'll harness the same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/tech.
Thank you for listening to the AI Chat Podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, I'd appreciate it if you rate me wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you're looking for an innovative group of AI enthusiasts, make sure you check out our Discord channel and also our Facebook community. It's obviously a lot more interactive than a podcast, where we can actually share software tools, prompts that we're using in everyday AI. I'll leave a link for those in the description below.